On Tuesday, 6th of September 2016, when Yacoob Tito Abiodun Coobman, without any iota of doubt a leading light and one of the most committed professionals in town planning, turned 70, he invited friends, relatives, colleagues and well-wishers to the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, Victoria Island, Lagos, to join him in the first leg of the auspicious celebration. A book titled The Citizen's Guide to Planning in Nigeria, How to Get Your Voice Heard, was launched. The book was the second to be launched by Yacoob Abiodun Tito Coobman after his very first attempt titled Affordable Housing and Urban Planning Practice in Nigeria, Advocacy for Change, which was launched in 2012, incidentally, at the same venue. In attendance at the event, which was anchored by B.C. Olatilo, who had to cut short his visits to the United Kingdom to be present at the event, were the former Minister of Works and Housing, now Senator representing Benue State, Senator Barnabas Gemade, under whom the celebrant worked, who was the special guest of honor, Senator Benga Ashafa, whose first son is married to the only daughter of the celebrant, Senator Benga Obadara. The chairman of the occasion was Mr. Wole Okufu-Lure, former Director Lands, Urban and Regional Planning, Federal Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, former Chairman Board of Directors of Shelter Afrique, Nairobi, Kenya, from 2001 to 2003. Also in attendance was Town Planner Tony Ainde, former Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, Lagos State, between 2011 and 2015, who reviewed the book. The Executive Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, who had to be in Edo State that morning to attend a rally for the APC governorship candidate in the forthcoming Edo gubernatorial election, was ably represented by Town Planner Wasiu Abiola Anifowoshe, Lagos State Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, who is also the current chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners Lagos State Chapter and a fellow of the NITP. Yacoob Abiodun Coobman was supported by his wife of over 4 decades, Lady Coobman. It's safe to say that friends of Yacoob Abiodun Coobman from different parts of the world, the United States and Britain particularly, broke all the rules to honor him on a day when the heavens opened up and tumbled down showers of blessings, a situation that caused dislocation of traffic in different parts of Lagos. The program formally began with the opening prayers rendered by Chief Yiga Benson. The chairman of the event, Mr. Wole Okufu-Lure, who can be aptly described as the friend and boss of the celebrant of all time, also shares the same age with him. Mr. Okufu-Lure started his career in the field of urban and regional planning as a lecturer in the Department of Urban and Regional Planning at the Yaba College of Technology in 1974. In 1976, he joined the Federal Civil Service as a Planning Officer Grade 1 before he later transferred service to the newly established Federal Capital Development Authority, FCDA. Mr. Wole was a member of the professional team that reviewed the implementation of the Abuja Master Plan. He was Chief Planning Officer, Assistant Director, Deputy Director before he became the substantive head of the Urban and Regional Planning Division of the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing in 1985. Mr. Wole Okufu-Lure was the pioneer secretary of Housing Policy Council, an agency charged with the responsibility to ensure that people, both in the private and public sectors, complied strictly with the provisions of the National Housing Policy. Mr. Wole, a quintessential technocrat, is respected internationally for his sound understanding of global human settlement issues. Mr. Wole Okufu-Lure, who has played very important roles in the development and advancement of the profession of urban and regional planning in Nigeria, brought his rich and varied experience to bear in his remarks at the event. Drawing from his rich and varied experience, Mr. Wole Okufu-Lure drew the attention of all those involved in the planning, formulation, implementation and monitoring of the process of building to avoid the disasters of the incessant building collapse, which have become the lot of the society of recent. The legal and policy provision of planning in Nigeria, citing the relevant laws and the rights of the citizen under the law, were articulately expounded in Mr. Wole's illuminating and most engaging intervention as the chairman of the event.
Mandates citizen participation during the preparation of different levels of plans. The citizens should know their legal rights and demand for adherence of the law by the relevant planning authorities. The inference of my thought process is a clarion call for an open government in which public participation in the decision-making process should be a primary choice. Citizens' participation is inherently good because it gives people who will be affected by the given decision to have the right to participate in it. Or my planning process or any planning process must be openly democratic. Many will argue that most of the citizens are not educated enough to make any significant professional contribution. This is a misplaced assertion. And as planners, we should be able to communicate in our local languages to ensure inclusiveness. Remember that in order for us to change everything, we need everyone.
The town planner par excellence, quintessential and cerebral host with the most, celebrating 70 but looking 60, Yacoob Tito Abiodun Coobman, who served as a former secretary, Housing Policy Council in the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, author of the book, Affordable Housing and Urban Planning Practice in Nigeria, Advocacy for Change, the man of the moment, was given a standing ovation and actually honored with a well-deserved happy birthday song before his remarks at the event.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy to you.
With over 2 decades in the Federal Civil Service, retiring in 2006 as a Deputy Director Urban Planning at the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, Yacoob Abiodun Coobman is very passionate about correcting all the ills that have plagued the issue of planning in Nigeria, as a result of which is very involved in public enlightenment of the entire citizenry to get everyone to be actively involved in the planning process. Town Planner Yacoob Abiodun Coobman harped on the roles expected of the citizenry, professional planners and other stakeholders during the planning, formulation, monitoring and the actual building process. The celebrant explained what planning entails and the benefits therein. Town Planner Coobman Abiodun Tito also harped on rights of the citizens under the law and the avenues where aggrieved citizens can take their grievances to for redress.
The citizens' complementary role in this bargain should be total. As consumers of planning, the citizenry must be active and ever ready to participate in the planning process. Houses, as they say, make a town. Citizens make a city. Therefore, the citizen must be in the driver's seat during the planning process. They should make an effort to attend town hall meetings and participate in civic engagement activities focus on promoting planning practice where they live. During the planning process, the citizens are the experts, while planning professionals are respected resources. Like I said before, let the citizen give you an idea of what they want their cities to be, and then you put your expertise into play. If you intend to solve mystery, you know what mystery is all about. You must read. If you don't read, you can't solve mystery. That is the only fault that many of us have in this country. Once you get your degree and that is it. You should continue to read and upgrade your knowledge. Remember, the dream of a better city is always in the head of its citizens. That the mayor of Curitiba said that, and I'm quoting him verbatim. Let everyone begin to consume the message in the book. I recommend it for you as a planner, as non-planners, because it is going to benefit you at the end of the day. This is not about making money, but about transmitting knowledge. On this note, I want to thank you for your attention and for attending this book launch in celebration of my 70th birthday. Thank you very much.
The book, The Citizen Guide to Planning in Nigeria, How to Get Your Voice Heard, written by Yacoob Abiodun Coobman to mark his 70th birthday anniversary, was reviewed by Town Planner Toyin Ayinde, former Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, Lagos State between 2011 and 2015. A fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners and a registered member of the Association of Town Planning Consultants of Nigeria, Town Planner Toyin Ayinde, who reviewed the book, demonstrated a common understanding of the issue at hand, planning, with hindsight of his years of practice. He took the audience through the various sectors of the book, which he dissected intelligibly. He and the author were on the same page on the legal and policy provisions of planning in Nigeria, citing the relevant laws which the citizen ought to know and the various governmental agencies and institutions in custody of the laws. The reviewer agrees with the author that planning can be a good tool in effectively combating urban decay, and that if planning is taken more seriously by all those concerned, especially those charged with monitoring the process, the disasters experienced in terms of building collapse and so on will be greatly minimized. Town Planner Toyin Ayinde, who commended the author for a well-researched work which provides insights concerning his thoughts and professional views of housing, environment and citizens' involvement about planning in Nigeria, look forward to another book to celebrate Yacoob Abiodun Coobman at 75 years.
His opening chapter, which is introductory, observes the existence of a great misconception and very limited knowledge among the citizenry concerning what planning is, what it is for, and the way it works. On the part of professional colleagues also lies the erroneous belief that planning is autocratic and that the king can do no wrong, which is the cause of constant conflict between urban planners and the citizens. While I agree with the author, I just continue to wonder why it always takes them retirement from office to see it this way or to talk about it. He uses the chapter to prepare a base upon which to launch other facts as he seeks to explain the purpose of the book, which he ensured is devoid of technical planning jargons, mathematical models, and statistical analysis to make it appealing to the ordinary citizen reader. He seeks to define urban planning in his second chapter, explaining the purpose and benefits derivable from the exercise, which is indeed a process. For the first time, the citizen reader will be shocked to learn that placing the red X mark on buildings is not urban planning. Do I have a witness? Because when you see red, they are here again. For years, this has been the definition of urban planning. Thank you, Town Planner Abiodun, for this elucidation. He goes, Town Planners, would you clap for him? He goes further to explain the consequences of not planning and concludes that although planning is about achieving dreams, good planning being pivotal to the creation of better human settlements to live, work, and recreate, thus enhancing better quality of life and inclusiveness of choices for all citizens. These are unachievable in the absence of good governance.
In the remarks of Senator Barnabas Gemade, under whom the celebrant Yacoob Abiodun Coobman served when he was the Federal Minister of Works and Housing, he commended the celebrant for the intellectual dimension he introduced to celebrate his birthday, which educated Nigerians of all classes who are desirous of building houses, whether for personal or official use, on the salient aspect that must be borne in mind to avoid avoidable disasters which have unfortunately become almost a daily occurrence in the area of construction and building. Senator Barnabas Gimade said, "The book is a clarion call on all, both the professionals and all stakeholders, to take more precaution to avoid further disasters in the sector."
Today, there are several urban disasters that could have been avoided, which unfortunately will suffer because they are not incorporated in our plans. I will not dwell you on any of these subjects because I know that you have been patient and you have been a very good audience. In Abuja, where we are more political than Lagos, audience are not very patient as you are today, especially when you begin to go through academic exercises and professional business as we have seen here today. A lot of people say, that's not what we came here to do. I think we came here to launch a book. Let's go to the point. But you have been so patient today, listening to all the professional work. And this truly agrees with the, what do they call it, this short phrases that we give to the various states of the nation when they say that Lagos is the center of excellence. No wonder everyone here is interested in seeing that there is excellence in town planning, excellence in the way that our urban centers operate. Well, on behalf of myself and indeed our entire friends, and let me say, all the former staff of the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, which produced this wonderful man and his wife in giving service to this nation to the extent that he did, up to the level that he retired, and he did continuously giving more knowledge and impacting more on the society in literally work up to the stage that he has now produced 2 volumes in a subject matter that is very, very important. And we're looking forward to a 3rd one. Let me say that more grace to your elbows, Mr. Abiodun, and I wish you very happy celebration on your 70th birthday with your entire family and those of us who are your friends and the teaming people who believe in you and know that you have a lot more to contribute to this nation.
The goodwill message of Governor Akinwumi Ambode of Lagos State was delivered by Town Planner Wasiu Abiola Anifowoshe, Lagos State Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, who is also the current chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners Lagos State Chapter and a fellow of the institute. In the message, Governor Akinwumi Ambode of Lagos State congratulated the celebrant Yacoob Coobman on his 70th birthday anniversary, and indeed for the foresight of using the platform of his birthday to put in place a long-lasting, well-researched and properly articulated viewpoint to be borne in mind by both practitioners in the building institutions and those who use these services to avert disasters. Governor Ambode also used the forum to assure Lagosians that Lagos State is at all times ready to complement the efforts of professionals like Yacoob, Tito, Abiodun to put in place measures that will enhance professional practice, which will be the ultimate benefit of those who live in Lagos State.
The message of the governor of Lagos State, before he asked me to be here, he personally went through the book, he read it, and he asked me to tell you that he's indeed impressed about your write-ups. These are the type of things we need in this our modern time, and this book is for every one of us in this country and outside Nigeria too. He said, you have done one, you are doing the second one. He will ask you to not stop and give us the 3rd and the 4th one soonest. If at 70 you have the will to give us a book, there's nothing stopping you 75 daily to give us 2 books. God bless you.
The book, The Citizen's Guide to Planning in Nigeria, How to Get Your Voice Heard, written by Town Planner Yacoob Abiodun, was unveiled by the chairman of the occasion, Mr. Wale Okufunlure, fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, who was surrounded by the celebrant, his wife, and all the high-tabled guests.
Okay, give me a T, give me an I, give me a T, and a 0. What about Tito?
This was immediately followed by the launching of the book, which attracted a generous donation by majority of those present who bought copies of the book to keep themselves abreast of salient points to bear in mind as regards the roles expected of everyone, the citizenry, professional planners and other stakeholders during planning, formulation, tools of implementation, monitoring and the review process as regards planning and execution of houses and other structures. The vote of thanks was given by a long-standing friend of the celebrant, Alhaji Ladi Oguneye, FNCS, former Managing Director, Data Sciences Nigeria Limited, former President of the Nigerian Computer Society, NCS.
BC, if there's nobody to thank you, I will. Because we know you just came back from the UK this morning. And in spite of the jet lag and all that, you did a fantastic job. Thank you so very much. All brothers and sisters and friends here, we want to thank you for your support. All those Muslim high school students of Tito, colleagues, we thank you.
See you all on Saturday, 17th of September at the Island Club in Lagos for the social aspect of the celebration of Yacoob Abiodun Coobman, the quintessential town planner's 70th birthday anniversary, God willing.